Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our top 4 of AEL Season 1 Rocket League. It's time for Swinburne Black to take on the UoN New Boomers in a very anticipated matchup. A lot of mech going to be on display as two of our tournament favorites in a fated, pre-top 3 match.
Yeah, not in the specific place that we thought would see them. They're actually fighting out in the low bracket. We're winding up the tournament here. It is going to be very interesting. There's no game that you're going to want to miss as they're getting exciting as the series go on. And the winner of this will also be in the money and will join the top 3 placing of Season 6 AEL.
Yeah, exactly. This is, the first real money match. And honestly, you're going to want to get through this one. Getting into that top 3, always so pivotal. Plus, you get to say you're in that loser's grand final, a chance to make it to, well, that overall grand final. So we know both the teams are going to be playing their best. As mentioned before, it's going to be Swinburne versus UoN. Some big names in this one, but the two that I'm more focused on are actually going to be Zuko as well as Husey.
Yeah, definitely. They're the players to watch out. We know Husey has that very upfield kind of mech play style, can definitely pull off some shots that we all want to see. And he'll be the one looking to be the striker on their side, and as well as Zuko. Zuko playing a really good job at being that third man, really bringing the team and holding them together. And I feel like Zuko is really the glue that will push them over the line if they can take it up against New Boomers.
Yeah, exactly. I think Zuko's playstyle actually might match up really well against the UoN New Boomers, but whether or not that will be the case, well, we're going to wait till we get to the pitch, and we can explain that in a little bit more detail, hopefully with examples. But before we get there, we can't hold sick events like this without our wonderful sponsors here at AEL, starting, of course, with AOC. Why do we start with them? Because that's what's directly in front of us, monitors. And for more than 50 years, they have been delivering on exceptional viewing experiences. Today, you've got those computer monitors, and they have that wide selection, styles for home, office, gaming, whatever needs you need. Please check out AOC. Yet, when you're got that visual going on, it's also about, what do you hear as well? What better way to hear my beautiful voice than with RIG, what it takes to win. RIG develops headsets delivering on superior audio quality for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. So join that RIG team and enhance your gaming experience.
Also, a huge thank you to Chatime. Grab yourself a refreshing beverage to help fuel those long gaming sessions or even study sessions. So definitely go over and grab yourself a beverage. And also we're talking about those long study sessions. Go over and grab yourself some instant ready Indomie noodles. I know personally, I love the McGoring. It's just nice, quick and instantly ready for those long gaming sessions. You can even do it in between games. So huge shout out to our sponsors. They do make this whole thing possible. And without them, we probably wouldn't be running it. Now we do get to run it. We get to head into the games. And as I said, top 4, these are the teams to watch. These are the teams that we thought would be here. And now we get to see them in action going up against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting. I had to show off my empty bowl while you're talking about the Indomie because I didn't have the McGoring flavor. I had the saute flavor. But then I did my usual thing where I cooked up, a steak, sliced it up, threw it in there as well. Cooked the steak, a little bit under so the broth can, finish cooking it all the way. And then you get all, the juices in with the broth. It was amazing. It's so good. Such the stuff you can do. Anyways, I don't know. I'm just talking about getting myself hungry again.
Making me hungry.
Yeah, I know. I want to get back into it. We got to distract ourselves with Rocket League. So I think I'm going to give the players the word to go ahead and jump in to our opening match. Oh, they were listening. They beat me to it. All right, we're going to go straight to the matchup itself. Players jumping in again on that blue side. Swinburne Black in orange, the UoN New Boomers as, Oh, no, they are in. All right, I think we are good to go. I was a little bit worried that Lethal, the player who you can see actually the chat right now, was giving one, everyone that hard time, get ready to go, was the last one to load in.
And now we're here for the best of 5. It's always your heart stops as a caster when you say everyone jump in and then you're just waiting on those 1 or 2 players. You're like, no, we're not about to force a restart. We don't have to sit here, organize the whole game again. Luckily, all players are in. We're going underway. Best of 5 series here, as always, in the playoffs. And it's definitely going to be an interesting one.
And it had to be Lethal, too, the player who were joking about how, maybe we give this player too much of a hard time sometimes. There's an actual team named after him coming from, a different university, the University of SA to be specific. But no, then he goes ahead and earns it himself. Tried to get a Musty. And if that Musty had beaten out Husey, well, then we would have to stop making fun of him.
Yeah, if you know too much about Lethal, definitely known for his Musties, unfortunately couldn't make connection with that one. And I've got to be honest, one thing, and I talked about this last game that we casted, was how are these players going to shape up? Because I know right now I cannot feel my hands. I'm actually really cold here in Melbourne, and I wonder, is that a huge thing that these players, do you think they're all warmed up, or the cold hands are going to play a factor in this?
That's a good question. I mean, it's actually kind of a warmer day right now in Queensland. Unfortunately, you know, RMIT, I'm pretty sure that's Victoria down where you are. UoN, obviously Newcastle. That's a bit further north, so I imagine they could be warm. I wonder if that becomes an advantage, or do players have to fork out, you know, those fingerless gloves that you sometimes see anime characters wearing. I'd be curious to see, you know, who's going to be our anime protagonist today. Perhaps it's Anti-Venom, as they win a nice 50 in the middle of the field to make it a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Scout's getting a bit harder to touch. Try to get back to it, couldn't. Anti-Venom just picking that good spot to force that challenge. Gets the first goal, and a minute 45 in, and we're only seeing the first goal. A minute 35, sorry. Might be shaping up to be a close one. We said it was going to be a close one, but, you know, I feel like already we're seeing how level these teams are together. But we always talk about the warm-up. That might be a thing that might come later on as... we will talk about, I was wondering whether these players were actually going to make it on time, because they were found in the in-game tournament trying to get an SSL title, and Lethal showing up there and showing why he's got his title.
Yeah, why he is RLCSX Major Elite. A nice dribble across the middle of the pitch. A very Zuko-esque play, actually. And if we're going to break down some of our expectations for this match, I do think I should elaborate on what I'm getting on why that I feel perhaps Swinburne might match up quite well against the side of UoN. UoN is a very mech-heavy, strong team with players like Husey and Anti-Venom. They like to attack, they like to play forward, they like to get quite aggressive. And then Zuko is a player who's known for sort of these long, drawn-out clears, slowing the pace down from your own corner and being able to dribble across the entire field and then create pressure that way. Typically, that might match up well against a team that is over-aggressive, because you just essentially have one attacker to beat, and then the entire field is yours. Lethal was actually the first player to kind of show how that worked before, though. He was the one who was able to dribble it straight down the center, and he's why we have a tie game.
Exactly right. It is really good to see that, and you have seen Zuko, the benefit of being that third player is that when all players are beat, you're the last one left. You're going to have all the time that you want on the ball, and that's when you can go for those long arcing solo plays. It's really good to see Lethal bringing that out now, so hopefully they know what they're to expect coming into this game, and they know the play style they want to play. Only depends is how will UoN New Boomers counter? Will they be more aggressive or start to look to take a passive route?
Yeah, I'm curious where they're going to apply their pressure. If they're going to apply it more defensively or a bit more, like even more aggressive and get like proactive in bumps and demos as they're setting up their attacks. I would be kind of happy with either of these choices. Probably, though, what we're looking at is more of the defensive front, as I have to admit, I'm not used to seeing the UoN Boomers this far back so frequently. I think Swinburne has done a good job controlling the middle of the field and keeping the Boomers back on their own half thus far. Neither of these teams really look that comfortable in these sorts of positions. However, that could be something that's more beneficial, I believe, for Swinburne as the series progresses.
Exactly right. And I think that midfield challenge you were talking about is what we're going to see really benefiting both teams, and who will be able to control the midfield the most. We did see already, I believe, Storm getting a really nice midfield challenge that led to their goal. Will we see more of that, or will we see what we're seeing now in Swinburne Black just controlling that midfield? As Anti-Venom going to look to get a midfield pass. Husey is actually in the right spot. Quick early turn. Has an opportunity met out by Zuko. And you're right, Zuko, the one on defense, stopping those challenges, because we've seen Husey score so many times in those quick turns in the offensive end.
Yeah, that we have. But I do believe last time I was casting, it was Storm who turned out as sort of like that breakout player for the UoN New Boomers, who, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of pulled off a little bit of an upset win, at least in my eyes, against UTS. 4-2 in that series as well to get them to this match we see right here. And it was Storm, that player, who caught me off guard. So I'm curious, will Storm, if they're going to continue to impress in that regards, if they're going to continue to be that offensive playmaker, if Husey is sort of pinned down. At the moment, we do see UoN. They were getting the pressure, but that is the beat that they cannot afford to let through. Lethal able to clear out a lot of space with 17 seconds left in regulation. Next goal is going to win this game.
Yeah, and Storm's going to try and make that happen now. Beating out one defender. Lethal isn't going to fall for that. Is off the backboard. Zuko going up for an easy clear there by Husey. And might be an open net. Lethal left back. Does get to a nice and good early turn. They are going to stop the ball here. 1 second to go. It does find its way up. Scout on the defensive end here. Can't actually drop it. It is going to drop high in the midfield. Husey shot on target. Double commit will put that down on the ground. And we have our first overtime.
That had the makings for something special right there. Husey just couldn't find the right spot in that goal. Needed a bit more accuracy and a bit more power. The defense from Swinburne did look ready for it, though. They did a good job in adapting to that very suspenseful situation. Now they have a chance to end it in overtime, but Husey's the one with the open net, gets to the ball but cannot put it in.
Could not quite find the angle, didn't have the boost to get up to it in time. That is gotta be unfortunate then. A bit confused, a bit annoying not being able to put that one away. That being said, 30 seconds in, still 1 goal. Both teams have had good opportunities. Storm getting a double touch, unluckily into their own goal square. Might have a little bit of time on the ball. Scout does get a 50 downfield and will be going it the other way in the corner right now. Both teams doing a really good job playing a bit of ping pong action, just looking for that shot on target, as I feel right now with how this game has been drawn out, this will be a huge win for both teams.
Yeah, this is a tone setter, for lack of better words, I feel like, for where we're going to be going from here moving forward. Storm's shot will be saved by Scout. I like Storm's position, though, throws it back to Husey. Scout really having to work to make this clear, and Lethal takes advantage. But why is UoN so far forward? A chance, perhaps, for Swinburne. Zuko doesn't win that 50 against Anti-Venom. Lethal now is going to play through the corner as well. Scout waiting in front of the net, but will not commit. Defense again holding on, but you can see Swinburne Black is very good at falling back and realigning themselves. That angle from Zuko almost enough to end the game. Scouts touch posts and in. An AFK player, it looked like, in the goal. Anti-Venom just could not find a way to make the read.
Sometimes it is not always the first shot, but it is what happens. Great opportunity there from Zuko. Couldn't quite get it on target. Doesn't matter because his team is there to support them. They do walk away with the first win here, and that's got to be good for Lethal, Zuko, and Scout, getting that momentum, and in such a tight game, walking away with it.
And I don't think I did Anti-Venom justice there when I said AFK. I think a more appropriate term would have been deer in headlights type situation, where you're just sitting there in the goal. You know you have to make a play, but you're also aware that that play can come from anywhere in like any direction. And unfortunately, Anti-Venom tried to play more bottom center, I would say, and it wound up top left. Either way, that's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Swinburne Black side. I'll be quite happy with the start of this one.
Yeah, and I'm really liking how the New Boomers are playing, and I do mention this every time I cast them, but this is a team that has been together for seasons and seasons, as well as playing in outside tournaments of AEL as well. So it is really good to see, and I believe that that's why they have that upset potential, being that they're just so used to each other's play style. They know each other individually, but that being said, almost the same thing on Swinburne Black, as these players have played together for a while as well.
So I'm going to ask a question for you here, and I hope I don't get too much trouble for this one, but is AEL scouting grounds for ODL, or is ODL scouting grounds for AEL, or do they just kind of work in sync with each other? Because there's a lot of crossover in the players between these two events. Like, I know I've scouted players when I was sort of like a team captain for ODL, and now I'm watching this, I'm thinking, you know, Anti-Venom and Storm, they look pretty good in an Esper uniform.
Yeah, well, it is very interesting, and there's so many tournaments like this that you can start to build those individual chemistry as to where have these players played before, will they make a good team? And I feel like AEL is a great scouting ground for that, because you can see just how well players play together, because it's all from the same university. I feel like it's just a few mates getting together saying, hey, do you play Rocket League? I play Rocket League. Let's see how we go. Or they know each other from the community. So it is really good that from universities we're able to get such high quality teams playing together in a uni tournament.
Well, I mean, the thing is, and the reason why I bring it up is because, like, I scouted and found Husey through AEL and brought him for Esper last season in ODL, and now I'm thinking, is the reason why, you know, they didn't find success in Div 1 because I couldn't get Anti-Venom as well, and you didn't get Storm? I'm starting to put things together, Tins. I'm starting to put things together. So either way, yeah, no, it is good to see that synergy in use, and it is good to highlight how a lot of these players, AEL sometimes is those building blocks, is that founding for getting more of that competitive experience, which these players do take into other tournaments, sometimes even the top level tournaments. I mean, we've all seen that RLCS X Elite out of Lethal for life. I mean, it's kind of crazy to see.
Exactly right. And another thing too is Lethal literally just came from another tournament today that was played in OCE. So I don't know whether that means Lethal's completely warmed up, or Lethal's going to not be able to last all 5 games in this tournament if it does go there.
I see. Here's the thing. I don't know how big the celebration was for Mind Freak advancing their way through. That's something we might have to take into consideration. You might have gone a little bit too hard on the study juice. And now we are sitting right here. Shot coming from midfield, not quite going to make its way through. Lethal will have to clear it out. Look, from the play we've seen from Lethal thus far, I mean, that air dribble tells me 100% it was a warm-up tournament, and this is the main event.
Exactly right. He's not gonna use up everything in the tank for. He's wanting to take this away. The team that's sitting in the grand final right now, waiting for the winner of the next series we're gonna watch, is beating Lethal. Lethal cannot give them the satisfaction of not meeting them there in the grand final.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed that whatsoever. Shot on target was going to be saved by Lethal this time in the net. Follow through for Scout. Will be able to push some grounds. Anti-Venom catching it from underneath. Still Lethal for life will push it away, but it's a nice bit of offensive rotations now being set up from the New Boomers. They had control until Storm pushed forward, can't make the read, and there's that deep clear off the backboard. Husey's going to have to slow the pace down, but puts it right towards Scout, who misses it. Few little mistouches and a few unforced errors right now, extending this game as we're nearly 4 minutes in, still at 0-0.
Exactly right. We're seeing a few overcommits here from all players on New Boomers. Luckily, they're not getting punished for us just yet, as Lethal will start the counterattack. Does get a demo in midfield. Zuko there to quickly clean that one up. Anti-Venom's going to have to look for the clear. And here we go, the offensive attack starting. Scout just get it too hard of a touch. And it now will be a quick counter opportunity. And this is where we see the aggression come out. Good 50 from Storm. Yet again, just playing to the corner. No team really able to work the ball up together and look for those infield passes.
Yeah, as we see that pressure coming out of the box right now, Zuko trying to slow down the pace. Anti-Venom's there. It's another light touch towards the goal. Eventually, Lethal will attempt to make some space, but Husey's shutting it down. And it's like every time it looks like Swinburne is going to create some offensive space, there is the UoN New Boomers, who are playing a lot further back than when we saw them last. They are actually playing a more patient, more controlled game, and it's buying them more opportunities. Unfortunately, occasionally, those unforced errors do rear their ugly heads, as that was a missed shooting opportunity in front of us. 23 seconds left in regulation, Tins, and I don't know if we end this one until another overtime. Anti-Venom stopped by Lethal.
Great attack there, and they're still going to try and maintain that with an infield pass to Storm. Can't quite. They have had the opportunities, just not converting, not putting the accuracy, but it is really good defense here from Swinburne Black. We might see a game 2 overtime as well. 2 games, 2 overtimes, 3 seconds to go, and the time will tell us. Scout looking to make that final attack, playing it off the corner, and Husey will just get an easy touchdown. And we do have a game 2 overtime.
Yeah, I thought game 1 was going to be our tone setter for this series, but apparently we're still going to fight for everything as a 0-0 game 2 overtime. And oh, it's nearly ended by Husey right there, unable to get to the ball in time, yet UoN is still on that attack. No one will follow through in the corner. It looked like Lethal got a bump onto Husey to force Storm out of the middle of the field, yet no one in position from Swinburne to sort of punish the gap. Scout again looking to punish. It looks like at this stage Swinburne, they're willing to get more physical in the middle of the field, and that's a promising sign.
Yeah, well, the aggression for them is really forcing out that first touch. Therefore, third or second player can really come in to clean it up, and it's what's working for them is the aggression in that midfield. If they keep that up, they might be walking away with it, but for now, 40 seconds down at 0-all, so no games to be scored here. As a shot coming out from Scout. Anti-Venom will be able to clear it downfield. Zuko there to keep the pressure alive. Beats out one defender. An awkward 50 in front of net. Husey does have the time to hit that one out in the midfield, and the pressure is really not stopping. Shot open. Zuko just couldn't find the top corner. Husey there to play to the corner.
Oh, Zuko's going to want that one back. You could see that Zuko was aware that they were coming at the ball a bit too hard and had to actually take the shot from an awkward angle of the car. It was almost like the rear wheels, as Lethal nearly sneaks one in as well. Storm's going to come through with the save right there. Desperation shots coming from Swinburne, but nothing is working. That lob shot nearly got over the top of Zuko as well. Storm will be able to follow it up until Scout has that read. Goes for the center, but Anti-Venom was waiting. And once more, it's back to this midfield attack coming from the UoN New Boomers.
Desperation shots and pre-jump saves are the story of this game so far. As a minute and a half still going by here. Lethal trying to get a center. Can't quite. Husey will play it out. Good infield pass opportunity. Zuko opting not to go for that one. 2 players in net. Actually fakes out Husey. Might have an opportunity here. Pre-jump saves yet again. No one in net though. Scout trying to put that in. Can't quite find the corner. Anti-Venom playing that away. Just trying to get the ball out here. Trying to get some breathing space. But Swinburne Black not allowing it as the relentless pressure from them coming out.
I feel like the nameplates of these teams have changed almost, because it's UoN New Boomers are sitting up their attacks further up the field. And from what we saw right there at Swinburne Black, they're the team that is giving no space when on offense and playing in that upper quarter, even, not even upper third. Very unusual styles coming from each side. Not at all what I was expecting coming into this one, yet it's not really working for either team either, as we're still stuck at 0 apiece.
Yeah, I really think it's a stalemate between both teams, as they're really getting the good opportunities, but they're playing they're both not wanting to do that final push that forces an overcommit, but that may give a goal, which is what we see from New Boomers, is the relentless aggression. The overcommit as third man coming in is what gets them the goal. They're not wanting to force that overcommit and therefore not getting those goals needed. A shot on target. Yet again, Husey almost gets rewarded with a dunk there. Can't quite. And Zuko will send that in midfield. Early challenge by Anti-Venom, plays it aside. And here we go. We start to see that relentless aggression. Can they keep this up? And Anti-Venom is there to play it. No boost to work with, and Lethal will get a clear out to Scout.
Yeah, well, they don't get a lot of distance on it until Scout slows it down, forces Storm to miss, and eventually it's a fake that almost catches Husey off guard. Storm will clear it through, and Zuko may have cheated a bit too far forward. Back and forth we go. 3 minutes into our Game 2 overtime. Still no goal to be scored. Anti-Venom, this is the best chance we've seen from the New Boomers yet. Scout, though, able to corral it, put it in the corner, but still does not have backup. Nonetheless, it's a double commit. And an open net. Zuko just needs to help this one straight. Couldn't make contact, and Husey got underneath.
Uncharacteristic there from Zuko. A very tough shot, just couldn't quite put that in, and unfortunately won't walk away with that one. Zuko now on the other end getting a nice save, playing that one to the corner. And it is very interesting is we saw a few fakes here, and I feel like fakes are what's going to work because both teams are playing at such a speed. Shot on target, Husey plays it aside. Both teams are playing at such a speed that I feel like a fake would force anyone in the midfield. Really nice touch there from Zuko. Shot yet again. The saves coming out here from both teams. If you're looking at it, Scout alone has 9 saves.
Yeah, this has been ridiculous at this stage. Just neither team able to break it through. Now, you're saying saves. I want to see demos. I want to see physicality. Sorry, not saves. You're saying fakes. I want to see demos because while this pace is fast compared to a lot of our AEL games, it's because we're closer to the top, but I don't think it's fast enough that that fake is guaranteed success. Not without that bump and not without Zuko going for that dribble across the field. Lost possession at the tail end of it all. Nearly 5 minutes, Junior, into this overtime, and now we have to start asking, you know, when does this game actually end? Zuko just set up Scout, and the answer is now. 2-0 lead in the series for Swinburne Black.
I just got the weirdest sense of deja vu because I think we saw the previous thing in the last game. The only difference was about 3 minutes of overtime. Zuko getting a really nice touch, not quite on target, but enough to center the ball to Scout. 2 games in a row, they pull that off. And 2 games in a row, Swinburne pull off the win to get the 2-0 lead.
You know where UoN New Boomers is leading, though?
Where?
They are leading in the Steam avatar battle. I'm not going to go into detail because it's not polite for us to flame users, but definitely the New Boomers have the better Steam avatars.
Yeah, the whole look, you know, they're all rocking the same title. Like, the only thing they could do is just all rock the same car as well to really, like, push them over the lead in terms.
And you know what car that is, right? There's only one car.
I feel like I'm going to answer what I think you would answer, but I'm hoping you're not about to say the Formula 1.
No, I'm not. I wasn't going to say the Formula 1. I wasn't. But I was going to say the Dominus. Either way, we are kicking off game number 3. As we see a bit of pressure coming from the UoN New Boomers. Husey will be playing through that corner. Actually, no, the true answer obviously is the Grog, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Unified Grog.
You got to have that favorite. If you're a Rocket League player right now, go in. I forget what the favorite button is. I think it's one of the left or right sticks. Favorite the Grog. Make sure it's at the top of your car selection all times. Improves your game heap. Guaranteed.
Oh, Husey, that angle. You know what? As good as that was, a Grog could have done it better.
We're about to just say that when Husey just scores the first goal in a game. Yeah,
the Grog could have done it better. Or more realistically, if Lethal was driving a Grog, he could have saved it. Yeah,
100%. And you know what? Until we're proven wrong, we're right, practically.
That's how casting works. 1-0 lead, and this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, the New Boomers have actually had a lead, except for the opening goal in game number 1.
Yeah, so hopefully, look, I think regardless of how whoever scores the first goal, I just want to see another Game 3 OT because that's what we've seen so far. And seems to be what Swinburne's working at, but a few good opportunities couldn't quite make anything happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Storm actually wasn't able to make contact with the ball right there. Just a bit too much traffic for this player to work through. Now he's going to try to drive it back across the middle of the field. Does get that ball to Husey. Scout will challenge, but Husey putting in that ones practice gets past the first, but in ones there's not a second defender. Scout nonetheless going to play off that backboard. No follow through right away. Swinburne playing a bit further back than what they did in the second game, and it actually is not really working out yet till Scout puts a shot on target. That was almost something special.
from the angle to put that fast on target, and then the accuracy to not score. That's got to be a bit frustrating, but Zuko will send it the other way. Good early challenge there by Storm, and it is very interesting to see that such early goals are scored, but we're seeing such long overtimes, and it is interesting to see. I think both teams really kind of back off when it comes to overtimes, because I know that New Boomers have that kind of aggressive play style, which can't work in their favor a lot of the time in overtimes, because you don't really have that second chance. If you overcommit in overtime, it's done, game over.
Yeah, but something that's surprising me has been how low scoring this series has been as the pool shot clear with Lethal and Zuko. That's something fun to see. It's interesting because, yeah, that was a quick goal in this game, but I can still see this one easily finishing 1-0. Like, both these teams have to fight so hard to get anything through. The speed with the defensive rotations has been something super impressive from both sides. It's really a tough one to call. I do feel as if every goal in this series is going to matter, and to be quite frank, that's the best kind of Rocket League.
Exactly right. When we're seeing such a defensive game, it's not just all offense, no defense, overcommits, but we are seeing those goal line saves and the infield passes as well. Zuko and Scout, someone pick these two up as a duo, because I feel like they just have the best chemistry right now.
I mean, the second you saw that pass, I knew it was going to be a goal before Scout even took the shot. That was just a perfect touch out of Zuko. Granted, Scout no slouch either. That was a 125-kilometer banger, and now we got ourselves a tie ball game.
Seems like whenever they're on the scoring end, it is at the hands of those two, but will the rest hold true as Lethal forced to make an awkward touch? Will have the boost to get back to it. Forces a 50-yard. Scout went up for it as well. I thought we might have had a triple commit on New Boomers' side, but as well as Swinburne Black also double committing for it.
That was spooky. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There's no reason for a double commit in that type of situation unless they were going for the pinch itself. Lethal from underneath. Almost got that most delicate touch. Not going to want to VOD review that, though, because he missed it in the end of the day. Now Zuko will be able to play through that side ball. Ball bounces off the roof. A double commit dubbed high. Leaves an open backboard, but not enough power for that pass. Lethal going to try to throw it back towards the middle. Scout not quite ready. Has to make a sharp turn. Two defenders committing towards the corner. The first one will disrupt. Zuko versus Husey is won by Zuko, but the ball is still pushed to the corner.
Lethal trying to make an infield pass play happen. Can't quite, so they will back off for now. Try and force out a touch. Scout does well to center that one. Zuko up for it, looking for the pass. Can't quite. And Lethal will be there to keep the aggression, and this is where we're seeing it come out yet again. Both teams doing a really good job at moving the ball up the field, and as soon as they start that pressure, it's quick rotations, it's cutting in midfield, really trying to suffocate teams, and it's what they're doing really well, but the defense just too good right now to really force out a shot.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that it feels Swinburne Black is starting to get less and less patient. They're playing further and further up the field. They're going for more and more high-risk challenges. And while they're able to hold on, it's not really leading to more accurate shots just yet. I think there's two reasons for this, though. A, obviously the pressure of the game, but B, the fact that we are starting to see UoN and Boomers get stronger touches on the ball as well. They're hitting the bar more powerfully and a lot more accurately than what we saw previously, particularly when on defense, and that is, in a sense, forcing you, Swinburne, I should say, to try and play more proactive. 20 seconds left, game 3, once again a tie. It's looking like it could be our third overtime in a row.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it finds itself there as Husey going to make the last attempt. 10 seconds on the clock, does fake out Lethal, but Zuko, the one that we always expected to be on that defensive end, is there to secure that one. But the ball is high. Husey, shot opportunity, saved by Scout. Shot opportunity yet again. And the placement from these players, having to put everything in top corner, in crossbar down, just shows you how well the defense is.
And this is such a bizarre overtime as Lethal actually almost puts it away. Within the context of this series, it's been so tight, these two teams so evenly matched, yet we're in a position right now where if Swinburne Black actually wins this one, they are advancing to 3-0 on the series scoreline. They're going to be a match point, and it's up to UoN to get a reverse sweep. And that just doesn't seem fair with how close this has been. The reset from Zuko posts it, and Lethal will spike it through.
Lethal being there for the cleanup. Zuko just being on the end of every single pass play here. Gets the flip reset. Can't quite get the touch, but yet again, Zuko doing everything to set up their teammates with a really easy shot.
So I like how you say, yeah, that was a pass. I'm not going to give Zuko the pass. That was a shot attempt. And had that gone in, that would have been something special. But Lethal for Life, you know, understands where that ball is most likely going to be on the off chance that Zuko misses it and is able to clean through and follow it up. However, We've seen musty attempts. We're seeing reset attempts. Swinburne Black, on a mechanical level, they have been showing off a fair bit, even though this series is so tight.
Yeah, which is interesting because that's what we thought we would see from the New Boomers. But I think New Boomers are more speed in terms of mechanics. They're just really fast, always on the ball, can get up to practically anything at any time. But we are seeing it come out from Swinburne. We're seeing Scout really good at pushing the ball upfield. Lethal going for a few highlight plays, and Zuko, we said they were the player to watch out for. They're pulling out flip resets. They're pulling out double touches. And out of anything they're doing, they're pulling out pass plays.
Yeah, and Swinburne Black, I mean, they're pulling out the victories at the end of the day. 3 matches up right now as we are soon going to be going into game number 4. Do or die situation for the New Boomers. They've got to pull off the reverse sweep, one of the toughest asks, particularly in best of 7 Rocket League. Yet, I don't want to completely write them off because it's been 3 games, 3 overtimes where essentially, you know, it's almost like 1 goal difference between everything.
And you talk about that because that's got to be heartbreaking. You were down 3-0 right now in a game that I feel like doesn't even feel like they're losing by that much. You're right, it's 1 goal games, it's overtimes, and you're down 3-0 now having to pull off a reverse sweep. That's got to be playing a little bit on the mental here for the New Boomers. You know you can do it, but they just can't seem to push themselves over that line.
It's a strange mental place, I feel like, for both teams to be in, too, because Swinburne, they've had to work for all 3 of those wins, and you kind of get the sense that if they slip up just once, the momentum in this series is going to shift heavily in favor of the UoN New Boomers side. I'm not calling this a must-win. Obviously, you have a 4-goal cushion, but I do see a world where if UoN New Boomers win this 1 game, the next games are actually going to feel that much more easier for them.
Definitely. I think if New Boomers take this one away, we won't be surprised to see them taking the next 2 as a double commit. Coming out there, but Lethal is back to play that one into the corner. Good early challenge by Storm, looking for the double. Scout can't find it either. Yuzi flying through into the net. Couldn't make contact yet, and a few fakes in net, just walking out of position there, and just seems a few missed opportunities.
That said, Husey is never going to, miss an opportunity to at least try and take it. As you saw that play right there, as a tough drive across that middle. No one able to strike it just yet. Anti-Venom going to try and play that backward. Lethal can't make the read, and here comes Storm. Lightning strikes, and it's a 1-0 lead for the New Boomers.
An extremely tough read then. Anti-Venom with a beautiful touch onto the backboard, forcing the defense into an awkward position. And same thing, we talked about Anti-Venom in the first game being a sitting duck in net. That time, Zuko, when you've got someone coming at you from the sky and just can shoot it anywhere they want, it's almost impossible to save.
As we do see now, some drama on that side at the moment. Scout will get that light touch, but Husey's already there. Pass connecting to Storm, ball off that backboard. Lethal waiting for it. Here's another sort of heartbreaking thing, though. This is the 3rd game now out of 4 that we have seen UoN get the opening goal, correct? It's very Mind Freak-esque, and I'm not just saying that because of Lethal. I'm saying that because Mind Freak always comes into these situations where they give up the first goal and then bounce back. There is a reoccurring trend and theme here with some of these players, so definitely cannot ever write out a team that has Lethal for Life involved.
Exactly right, and it's also just making your job a lot that harder. I know obviously they're not purposely giving up the goals. The scalp and a shot on target played aside by Anti-Venom, and it's almost like they're not purposely giving up those goals, but they're making their job that much harder, giving themselves almost a handicap of 1 goal every game, still finding their way to come back, but it might be the reason they're forcing overtime every game.
Yeah, I think that is one of the cases, and I also sometimes wonder if being that 1 goal down does have that mental effect and encourage players to take more risks and play at a higher level than what they normally would under the comfort of a tie game. Lethal shot. That angle was beautiful. I'd say that was what, like 85, 84 degrees?
Oh yeah, we talk about the grog, but only the Dominus can pull off angles like that. The way you rotate your car, forward flip into it, Dominus can pull off insane angles when it comes to those kind of shots, and Lethal demonstrating that perfectly there.
Yeah, I mean, it's why the Dominus is the best car, like just straight up. Not up for debate. Clear out of the box right now. I see Zuko from underneath try to create some space. Still, it's UoN on the attacking half. 1 player misses. That's okay. A second's going to be right there just in a hurry. This team's so fast with their offensive rotations when they get them moving, and they're moving right now. Husey playing off that backboard. A quick read out of Storm. Keeping that pressure on Zuko. No! Zuko sets up the goal, and Anti-Venom bangs it through.
The heartbreaking of Scout being on the goal line, just not being able to. Zuko with an unfortunate touch. Anti-Venom with a really nice punish there as they take 3 goals in one game. This has to be, I think, the highest scoring of the series so far.
I mean, yeah, well, it's equal to it, right? A couple 1-1
Equal.
overtimes, and now we're at a 2-1. Is that going to be our final score? Still 2 minutes, a lot of time left to see possibility of RMIT, get that equalizers. Case in point, Lethal puts it through.
They're just waiting, They're letting the other team score first, then they can have their opportunity. Zuko, yet again, on the passing end, and really nice placement there from Lethal. Hit the angle before, hit the placement now. Lethal being the player to watch for this game.
Swinburne tying us up 2 apiece, just over 100 seconds remaining. It kind of feels like our overtime situation might be starting about now, considering the low-scoring affair of this series. Next goal, more than likely, can win this one if trends do continue. Pressure being put on, that's an awkward spot, but Scout does just enough to stop that ensuing attack. Challenge as well, yet it turns into a pass. Lethal needs to make a quick read, but Storm's already there. Scout tries to go underneath with the anti-venom. Zuko cheating forward, has that ball delivered to them, but cannot make that read. Still gets the second touch off the backboard. Here comes Scout over the top of 2, off the backboard. Where is Lethal?
Oh,
there is Lethal. It's a 3-2 lead.
Husey with a side flip in net, not able to get to that one, and really nice beat out there by Scout. Lethal coming in for the finish, and that is just the defensive errors that we have not seen all game, especially from New Boomers. A double commit in net, and then the third man just not being able to get back to it.
3-2 scoreline, definitely our highest scoring game thus far, and it could be our final game if Swinburne are able to hold on. 1:12 remaining. Now that's where I think we're going to see that all-out attack from the UoN New Boomers, especially when Scout drills this. The power behind that redirect was definitely unmatched.
Ace flicked a switch coming into this last minute. Zuko to Scout putting that one on. 2-goal lead, which is the biggest lead we've seen so far here in this game, in this series. And Swinburne coming out to play minutes ago. We need to see some aggression come out from New Boomers if they want to take this away. Kickoff won by Lethal on target. Storm able to get back to that one and play it aside, but Zuko, the pressure off the sidewall, gets the angle, puts that one away. 5-2, a minute to go.
And I think that could be the dagger into the hearts of the UoN New Boomer fan base and the players themselves, because a 3-goal lead with 1 minute to go, it's pretty devastating looking. Not to mention, this is a match point. I mean, we were kind of waiting for Swinburne to put forth this dominant performance, and now it comes when they need it the most. It's going to be an interesting series to look back on, especially if 5-2 is our final score.
Exactly right. And not only is it hard enough to pull off a reverse sweep in a best of 7, but now you're 3 goals down 40 seconds. It is extremely heartbreaking, especially when I feel New Boomers shouldn't even be in this position. They just haven't been able to close out those overtimes, which has put them down by 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. This series could have looked so different had 1 or 2 bounces gone a different way. Instead, it's that final 30-second countdown. Swinburne Black, they're going to be getting a clean sweep, or well, I don't really want to call it that clean necessarily. They had to work for it, but now everything's all crazy. Scouts puts in another one. It's a 6-2 lead.
And these are the goals you see at the end of a game, because nothing they can do. New Boomers just have to play that all-new level of aggression, which forces those easy goals in the crucial moments. Not really crucial, but in the last few moments of every game. 6-2 goal line. Now it's just a courtesy we're playing this one out, because Swinburne Black are going to find themselves in that top 3 situation. And they're going to be up against the team that they did lose to previously.
Yeah, it's going to be a rematch of sorts. Swinburne will be going on to play RMIT. A team that, honestly, I could argue might have overachieved a little bit to get where they are, but only because it was upsets, and this is a team of names that I didn't really know before, definitely know now. It's going to be a fun third, second place match, a fun losers grand final match, but as it stands, it is all Swinburne today. They're going to down this one 6-3, possibly 7-3. Our final score line is Anti-Venom. Keeps it alive for just a bit, ball hits the ground. Swinburne Black, they advance.
Top 3 placing, and really well deserved there, just being those crucial moments, those crucial touches in those OTs, walking away with it in those final moments. And I've got to be honest, I think Zuko almost finished on the bottom of the leaderboard every single time, but it seemed like he was in the position to help out, to hit those passes every single step of the way. But Swinburne Black, they were looking good all series, did the final moments, and then 6-3 in the final game.
I always knew there was something suspicious about Lethal. That's all I'm going to say. When you see what I'm talking about, it'll make sense. But yeah, I do agree. 100% Zuko mechanically did look like the strongest player out there, but the player I was most impressed with, quite honestly, if we're looking at Swinburne Black, would have been Scout. I thought Scout was winning a lot of strong 50s in the middle of the field and was quite often sort of that first player forward and slowing a lot of the UoN New Boomers attacks down. Not to mention, you brought it up yourself. How many saves was that in Game 3? Like 10 at the end of it all? Like double-digit saves? That's ridiculous.
I believe it was 10, and that's insane to see a player get that many saves. That being said, the amount of shots in that game were next level. I think this series was definitely defensive minded, but Scout as well, a lot of crucial midfield challenges was helped out their team a heap throughout the series. And yeah, they're walking away. They're going to be versing the team that sent them into the lowers in the first place. And I'm going to be very excited to watch that one.
Yeah, it's going to be RMIT taking on Swinburne. It's going to be a rematch. It's going to be a battle. You got to watch it the first time. I'm keen to see where it goes that second time, but I don't believe that's being played tonight. I think it's going to be happening at a later date, no?
I believe so, yep.
So I was so excited.
Can we just get the players in? Can we just get the players in?
Can we just get them on speed dial, bring them in? No, unfortunately, we are going to have to sign off with only one series today, only 4 games, but they were... I still feel, you know, if you were coming in to watch one match, you would have gotten your money's worth because those overtimes were nutty.
Oh, exactly right. And I think that was the game that we thought we were going to see coming into it. And I don't think the 4-0 scoreline really represents how that one was played. Looking back on that in the future, seeing that 4-0, I think isn't really justified to the New Boomers. But at the end of the day, Swinburne Black made the crucial moments in overtime, walked away with it. And I was very happy that I got to cast alongside you and watch that series. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and there's going to be more fun in the future. So please remember to follow, subscribe, like on whatever platform you happen to be watching with, not just Rocket League. Of course, Rainbow Six Siege, CSGO, Dota. You've got even Smash on occasion as well. So many fun sports here at AEL, not to mention branching into the high school world as well. Tin's been covering that action. I'm going to start doing some coaching pieces as well. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but that just happens how life works. Either way, that's going to do us on behalf of everyone here. Have a great day, everybody. Much love, and we'll see you in that losers final.